Every day in Microcross, we're turning it over to you guys in America. It's a chance for you to ask us about things that you may have heard through the grapevine about China. Let's start off with our first question.
With the recent crackdown on foreigners in China, how do people feel about English teaching positions where it seems to be exclusively for white foreigners?
Foreigners have been making headlines in China after the government announced that it will be cracking down on visa, work, and residency permit violations. Some statements indicate that there will be special scrutiny on foreigners who are in China to teach English. But what about the hiring practices that bring these foreigners to China in the first place? It is commonly known among expats that race can play a big role in landing a job at a school. Administrators and parents have certain preconceptions about what a native English speaker ought to look like and hire accordingly. This puts aspiring teachers who are not of European descent at a decided disadvantage. Hear what some U.S. netizens are saying about this phenomenon.
Sorry, but China is a sovereign country and can do as it pleases. If they want to discriminate, they can discriminate, and there is no one that anyone can sue. Other countries on this planet don't necessarily work the same way as the U.S. does. Incidents such as this should make all of you appreciate the good old USA better. Be thankful for what you have, regardless of whether you think the system is perfect. China signed at the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, and being a sovereign state does not justify engaging in something morally disgusting. Furthermore, there's nothing wrong with pressing for people, nations, entities, and so on to improve and become better. Imagine if you had been born as an unaccepted skin color or ethnicity and denied an opportunity on that basis alone rather than on merit. Would you still be defending the ones who did such a thing to you?
The International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, or ICERD, as referred by in this last post, is a United Nations convention that not only commits its members to fighting racism, but also requires parties to outlaw hate speeches and criminalize membership in racist organizations. Racial discrimination is defined as, quote, any distinction, exclusion, restriction, or preference based on race, color, descent, or national or ethnic origin, which has the purpose or effect of nullifying or impairing the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise on an equal footing of human rights and fundamental freedoms in the political, economic, social, cultural, or any other field of public life, unquote. This is according to a document from the ICERD. And as of October of 2011, it has 86 signatories and 175 parties. But according to other netizens, they question if this practice of hiring Caucasians to teach English really falls under that definition of racial discrimination. Listen to these comments.
I guess it's like when you go to a Chinese restaurant, you want them to be Chinese, not white. Or if you go to a Mexican restaurant and they're not Mexicans cooking, it doesn't feel authentic. What about actors who are cast in specific roles for how they look? There are millions of people who can recite those lines and evoke the same emotions, but it is that one actor who the director thinks looks the part. Why are we not hounding them for racial discrimination?
But looking at American society, it seems as if some of these stereotypes could be reflections of racial issues at play in America today. Hopefully, high-profile public figures like President Obama, Ambassador Gary Locke, and Justice Sonia Sotomayor will give China a fuller picture of what Americans look like and make schools more open to accepting qualified English teachers from different racial backgrounds.